GSL.
Hello and welcome to day one of GSL Code S. I am Artosis alongside Valdez. It's the first day of Code S, Valdez. Aren't you excited?
I don't know what to tell you, man. You're a little bit late, but it's okay. It's all right.
You guys started Code S without me? I'm heartbroken.
You were off casting some other thing. I don't want to talk about that, really. We're going into interviews, guys. All right, going into Group D today.
자, 가장 먼저 이번 시즌
are we going to do some interviews here, Valdez? Yeah, we are.
경기도 SK텔레콤 T1 이신영 선수 바로 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
We're talking about INnoVation first, round of 8
이신영 선수
of last GSL.
He's so감 먼저 들어볼까요?
네, GSL 되게 오랜만에
How do you feel coming into this season?
네.
GSL?
좀 오랜만에 온 것 같아요.
네,
Feels like it's been a long time since I played in the GSL.
준비는 잘 되셨는지 궁금하네요.
Did you prepare well for today's match?
따로 안 하고 레더 위주로 했어요.
32강은 기본 실력으로도
I just laddered a lot to prepare for today's match.
아, 그건 아닌데 조가 좀 그래도 나름 괜찮아가지고
네.
네, 올라올 것 같아요.
네. 자,
Think of in a great group, I guess, for himself, because he feels like he should be able to advance pretty easily.
So by great, he means bad.
Exactly.
이 막내
That's what I got from that answer, at
못했을 것
least.
같은데 오늘 멋진 선물하면 되겠네요. 연락하셨어요, 동생들하고?
아니요, 안
Did
했어요.
you give any presents to your little brothers because it was Children's Day yesterday? He said he was practicing too much. He couldn't contact his little brothers. So maybe today's victory can be a present
아,
for
오늘
his little brothers.
준비도 잘
I
되고
don't think
또
that's what his little brothers
게임도
want.
잘
No, I don't
돼가지고
think so at all.
멋있는 경기 보여드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
네, 알겠습니다.
He says he believes he prepared well for today, and he should be able to play great
자,
matches.
바로 이신영
This
선수의
great group.
상대 만나보겠습니다. 자, 무려 2년 만에 코데스에 복귀하는데요.
Amazing interview by INnoVation, as always.
I always adore INnoVation interviews.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네.
Now for Creator, who is in the GSL Code S for the first time in years.
Wow.
Boy, he's grown. How is it to be back here in GSL Creator? Well, it's been 2 years and I'm pretty nervous today. But I'm looking forward to today's matches. And I think my nervousness is actually going to help me play today.
사실 코드 A 경기에서 그 빌드 노트를 꺼낸 모습이 굉장히 인상적이었습니다. 혹시 오늘도 주머니 속에 빌드 노트 있나요?
오늘은 좀 더 크게
When you played in Code A, you had a notebook that looked like a build orders or something that you looked into a lot.
오늘 만약에 진출한다면
And Creator says that
좀 보여주세요.
he prepared another one today, and it's even bigger than the Code A one.
네, 장현우
Which it
선수
should be
2년
because
만에
he's
복귀한
playing two
만큼
different
많이
matchups today
준비해
against
오신 것
3 different
같은데요.
players instead of one best of 5 against one.
팬들에게 오늘
Yeah,
각오
one
들어보겠습니다.
It
race.
goes up
That makes sense.
from Code A to Code S.
요새
The notebook
GSL
grows.
And what are some comments to your
게임밖에 안
fans?
했거든요. 그래서 좋은 모습 보여드릴 수 있을 것 같은데 네, 기대
I
많이
only focus on
해주세요.
gaming to prepare for GSL, so I think I can show a great performance for everyone.
네.
Another
자, 세 번째 선수
fantastic
소개해드리겠습니다. 자,
Really,
코드
really
A
interesting.
때
Great
엄청난
stuff.
물량을 뽑는 능력을 보여주셨죠. 참 아이디를 잘 지은
I
것 같은
believe we're going to be talking to a guy who's been around for forever. His name is Bomber.
네.
He's now part of SBENU.
반갑습니다. 네.
Of course, former
자,
StarCraft.
근데 먼저 스베누에 또 이제 합류했다는 소식이 있었으니까요. 먼저 그 소감부터 들어볼게요.
일단 어제
How does it feel to be on Team SBENU?
갑자기 후원 결정이 나서 저도 솔직히 정말 놀랐고
I only got to the team house just yesterday.
팀 분위기 어떤가요? 지금
He was very surprised. The team house improved a ton, and he wants to thank the CEO of SBENU for making that happen.
A great guy, sponsors so much in esports, really helping out the scene here in Korea.
그래서 약간 어색하기도 한데 되게 숙소 분위기는
Usually in StarCraft there's only 5 to 6 players in the team house, but it's increased a lot recently.
선수 여기서 더 날개를 달지 기대가 됩니다. 사실 코드일 때
But it's so he's really happy to see the team grow.
정말 물량 뽑는 능력 저는 그게 안 돼서 테란을 관뒀거든요. 정말 깜짝 놀랐는데 이번에도 준비 잘 해오셨나요?
나름 준비는 잘 해왔는데.
How did you prepare for today's group?
첫 경기인 재훈이가 아무래도
He thinks he prepared pretty well.
네.
경기 양상이 어떻게 될지는 모르겠어요.
네. 아까 맵 선정할 때
But Panic has a variety of builds, so he feels like today's first match for him will be the hardest match.
예전에 같은 팀이었거든요. 그래서 많이 친해요.
네, 그럼 오늘 또 심리전을 기대해봐도 좋을 것 같은데.
Says he and Panic were on the same team back in the old days, so he's very good friends with them.
저번 시즌에 아쉽게 탈락한 만큼 이번 시즌에는 준비 정말 열심히 많이 했으니까 좋은 경기 보여드리겠습니다.
Last season, he was eliminated in the earlier rounds, but he prepared very well for this season, and he feels like he can go even higher this time.
네, 벌써 오시려고 준비를 하셨는데요. 바로 만나보겠습니다. 한재훈 선수입니다. 안녕하세요.
And now Panic, of course.
네. 자, 오늘 얼마나 많이 준비를 하셨는지 오시는 동작에서부터 느껴졌어요. 먼저 32강전 소감이 어떠세요?
How do you feel going into the round of 32 in the GSL Code S?
그래도 뭐 별 감정은 없는데 원만큼 올라가야 될 것 같아요.
네, 확실히 긴장을 안 하셨다는 말씀을
I'm
좀
kind of used to being in the round of 32,
근데 16강전이
but I really want to
문제네요.
advance
그
this
생애
time
첫
to that
16강
elusive
이번에도
round of
간절하실
16.
텐데 많이 준비하셨어요?
Only 16 players make it, or
상대가 희성이 형인데
네.
예전에 많이 졌거든요.
My opponent is Bomber.
그래서 좀
I
무섭긴
lost a lot
한데
when we practiced together, so I'm scared of him.
생각하고 이길 수 있을 것
But
같아요.
he's in a slump
희망적인
recently,
부분이 있네요.
예.
so I think that
네,
I
자,
can
최지성
defeat him
선수와
here
충분히
today.
있다고 말했는데 그만큼
I think he
아까부터
probably could.
참
He played
팽팽한
really well
기류가
today.
느껴졌습니다. 한재훈 선수 오늘 테란전 어떤 준비를 많이 했는지 팬들이 좀 기대하고 있어요. 빌드 깎는 토스라고.
So how did you prepare for PDT
오늘
today?
혹시 좀 신기한 빌드 이런 거 혹시 있나요? 비비?
좀 이따가 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
Do you have any amazing or
저희가
secret builds?
직접 그럼 확인을 해보도록 하겠습니다.
I'll just show it through the matches, he
마지막으로 오늘
says.
각오 들어보도록
He says, Gary, why
하겠습니다.
would I tell you about secret builds right now when
TV가
everyone's listening?
이렇게 왔는데
Come on, Gary.
저도 괜찮은 것 같고 준비도 많이
I think I'm in a
했으니까
good group,
준비한 만큼만 하면
and
충분히 올라갈 수 있을 것
I
같아요.
prepared a lot for
네,
today's match.
알겠습니다. 오늘 한재훈 선수
And if I do as I
기대하겠습니다.
practiced, I think I can advance.
네, 자 이렇게 오늘 32강 D조에 나서는 선수분들 모두 확인을 해봤습니다.
Quick Artosis, predictions for the group. Who gets out?
Predictions. Okay, I'm rooting for the two Terran players. I'm thinking that it's going to be INnoVation and Panic.
Yep, I would agree. INnoVation Panic, I think,
There you
should be
go.
able to get through. But we'll see what Bomber has planned. I mean, his first time over here, I forget exactly when it was. I think it was Code A or maybe Code S of last season. He was trying to make it through, but he just did not look good.
Are we? Wait, are we talking about Panic or Bomber?
Bomber.
Okay, yeah,
Bomber.
yeah.
And
He was a little bit off, but I think all the Koreans that came back to Korea kind of had a hard time. Yeah, we saw like Yoda and MC move up, but overall they had a pretty hard time overall. The ones that have made it back in now, like Bomber, I'm really looking forward to see how they actually do.
Yeah.
And since Bomber now has just moved into a Korean team house, I think that like next season he could be a killer. Here today, I don't know.
He definitely could. That is the question. I mean, we've seen what they've been able to do with Myungshik. I don't know how much that is to do with SBENU, his new team, or if he's just practicing a lot. But if Bomber's in the same state of mind, maybe he can get up there as well. Guys, down here at the GSL, you can, of course, download that GOMEXP app and go ahead and do predictions. You can win some prizes.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to easily win the prediction thing, just put in INnoVation and Panic because that's what I said, and it's probably going to come true.
Of course.
Yeah.
The Artosis blessing, that's what they call it, right?
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I've heard that my prediction rate is near 90% accurate
I think it's something like that.
when the
Pretty
players
close.
don't mess up.
Look at this. Look at who's advanced to Code S already. Only one Zerg in Rogue was able
The
to get
rogue
through.
Zerg, you might say.
Yeah, you could say that, Dan.
But we see that, yeah, it's pretty exciting who's gone through so far. I haven't gotten to actually watch the games yet. Like, I just got back to Korea last night, took a nice esports vacation after the Heroes of the Dorm, didn't watch anything for a week, which was really great. But that means that I'm a little bit shaky on what's happened already. I know the results, but I haven't gotten to watch it yet.
Well, for our group here today, Group D, INnoVation versus Creator, start things off. And we go into SBENU Bomber versus Panic. And Creator, he hasn't had the easiest time against INnoVation. We've seen him really just falling down to Widowmine drops a lot of the times, just barely even pulling his probes or pulling half of them and losing the other half.
Which is weird because he started out as such a great defensive Protoss. You'd think he'd be really good against stuff like that, but
I feel like at times he just kind of gets nervous, especially when the Widowmine's coming in his base and when he's facing someone like INnoVation especially. But nowadays INnoVation has shown some shaky games as well, so maybe Creator can get some confidence from that.
Like, can't go undefeated forever, right?
Oh yeah,
pretty sure you can at least. I don't know. I still think he gets out of here, though, to be honest. I think that he is a step above everyone in the group, even if he's a little bit shaky right now, as you say. And, you know, it's... Yeah, I would really imagine that he'll still make it through. Now, if Creator beats him, it becomes a lot more shaky. Bomber historically has had very strong TvT. He's had very weird TvT, which could work well against someone who's a little bit robotic like INnoVation as well. So, I mean, there's definitely chances that INnoVation doesn't make it up here, but I would be a little bit heartbroken. I really want to see him go forward.
Well, like you said, it really comes down to this first series. I would definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see what Creator has prepared for INnoVation, because when you lose to someone over and over again, it gets into your mind, it sticks with you. Usually you don't really know your stats, but when you lose to one player over and over, like think about Classic versus Parting. He definitely has something against Parting. He's like, oh man, this guy keeps beating me. He's so like...
His proxy gates are better than my proxy gates. Like, what do you want?
So, Creator here, not the best record overall.
No. You know, this guy, he was such a bright star years and years ago, and he's still very good, and I actually am really glad that he's on Prime because he gets a lot more playtime, and I think that's part of why Myung-Sik is really coming up right now, is because he got so much playtime, especially in Pro League, from being on one of the weaker teams. So that can actually be really a blessing, even though it's going to kind of kill your stats and make people think that you're bad because you keep losing. Like, that is, like, to be able to play Pro League a lot really helps you with the booth and overcoming some of this stress and practice of the absolute highest level, which is in a professional match.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Bravo, you know, he used to be on SKT, he got like no playing time. He came in like every once in a while, but then once he moved to Samsung, we see him very often, in fact, and we could tell that he's getting better and better. He's not quite at the upper echelons, you know, the tier 1 players just yet, but he's getting closer and closer.
Seriously, sometimes going to a worse team can be good for you. It's kind of a weird thing, but you get that more playtime. Now, for this match in particular, INnoVation against Creator, like, Creator historically was a very defensive macro-based Protoss.
Yeah. He was one of the guys that was always doing that double forge, 3-3, like late game Protoss with storms and stuff.
I don't think he's as pigeonholed as he used to be. Like, he definitely mixes in more cheeses and stuff like that. But I think that, like, everything about his play is inferior to INnoVation. So I feel like this is a very bad mismatch as far as styles go for Creator. Like, the cheeses he pulls out, like, he's not Parting, guys. He doesn't cheese that well. He doesn't attack and rush that well. And that's the type of aggressive play that might be INnoVation. And then when he falls back on macro, it's not like we're watching like a Rain or a Zest or a Hero who could go toe-to-toe with INnoVation.
It doesn't quite match up like you were saying.
I think INnoVation has to be a little bit off.
Yeah, I think INnoVation here, he should have the win, but Creator, you know, he is down like something like 0-2, 0-3 against this guy in recent times. So he's kind of Creator also reminds me of a guy who's like very emotional, kind of gets into his head sometimes. You know, you think of like Marine King or even Rogue, guys who will remember that kind of he wants the revenge against this guy. So can he just settle his mind and play the game against INnoVation, like bring something out here to try to kill him because he is angry, or will he get, you know, sad, emotional, nervous even? He even said he was nervous in his interview. Will that come into play more so?
He did say, though, that he thought the nervousness would help him play better, which is
kind of funny.
Kind of weird.
It would not help me play. No. I'd be like shaking in the booth like, no, I can't do this.
The one thing I can say, though, I think he's probably in some ways prepared better for INnoVation than INnoVation has for him, because INnoVation said, oh, I've been playing the ladder a lot, which is what he basically always says, but that means that INnoVation is going to bring his standard, you know, macro play. He's going to try to scout well, which is good. It's a good thing to do against Creator, which he already should have a good matchup against. But the fact that Creator brings in like a notebook full of builds means that he's really thought this out. He might have
probably researched INnoVation as well.
He should
because especially a guy like INnoVation, he is nearly always going to do the same thing against one race. Like
if Prime isn't like putting 100% of their effort behind something like Creator in Code S, to get him prepared for this. If they don't have people watching like every game and analyzing everything, then I got to ask what the hell they're doing.
You can't really call them a pro team.
No, like this should be one of their biggest focuses. Should be creator in GSL.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, who else on Prime is doing something right now? Can you think of one other name? Yoda.
That's about it, right?
Is he also in Code S?
I'm pretty sure.
I think he is. He was in the last one. Both you and I kind of drawn a blank on this one. But,
yeah.
I mean, besides Yoda, like you're saying, Creators Group, he's up today. He's up first playing today. Yoda hasn't played for Code S if he is in it.
Yeah.
So,
I could have sworn he made it back in.
All the resources of that team have to be on this guy.
Well, it should be. I mean, they are not... Spoiler alert, they're not going to win Pro League.
No. They
Prime
have no
isn't winning
chance,
Pro
actually.
League.
I think they're actually...
I'm sorry,
Unless
Prime
they get,
fans.
like, first twice and, like, win both rounds, 3 and 4, I think they have no chance.
Like I said,
they
Prime
have no
is
chance.
not going to win Pro League. So, I mean, something like this could be a really great showing if Creator can get deep. And he's a player that, like, has within him the types of skills and even the experience. Like, this guy... actually has a very storied, strong history in the past. Like, this guy got second place at the World Championships of StarCraft in 2012. Yep. I mean, he's gotten very deep many times. It's just, I guess, recently he hasn't been able to do it. But
it's something that MMA said once after he made it to, what was it, round of 8, I think, over here, or maybe round of 4. I don't quite remember, of GSL last season. He's like, class exists forever. And Creator did create that kind of class. He does have a lot of experience, like you're saying. Can he bring it out today? That's the question. I don't really know where he's at nowadays. What is his form like?
Yeah.
Because form is not permanent. Class is.
Ooh, I like that.
That was not my quote. That was MMA.
He even said form is not permanent.
I think he did say
wow,
that.
That's a really great quote. And
he said it after he made it as far as he did in GSL.
Well, I mean,
he's like, look, I'm back. You know, I'm back in form, and my class was here all along. Like, I'm still a great player.
I can't even argue it.
And now, talking about MMA, while we have this gigantic delay, I'm not really sure what's going on. I think Creator's computer's going on something's wrong.
He's not in the game yet, so whatever.
Big delay. Sorry about that, guys. We're trying to install the driver for something. For his computer. So we might actually go to the second match first, depending on the delay.
After we talk that much?
Yeah,
no, you get that driver installed. What? We have all this great build-up for this series?
Yeah, I don't know. But talking about MMA, he is also on SBENU now for Pro League. So that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
He's still part of Acer, but he's like partnered with SBENU.
Yeah. I like that. I like trying to get all these top guys into like the same thing to make another good Pro League team. Because to be honest, like I mean, not for like the past month or so. I haven't really been watching Pro League because I've been so busy. But generally, when I'm watching like every match, I get sad when like Prime or MVP is playing or something like that. You know, where I'm like, this is like just not going to give me
it's
the
like
quality
MVP
match.
versus SK Telecom. It's like Prime versus CJ Entis. You're like,
yeah. I'm like, okay,
do we
so
really
this
have
is a
to
3-0.
watch Tang versus Hero again?
Like, why am I watching Zound play against Maru? Why am I watching this?
The greatest match.
Aren't there better
MVP.
things I could do?
MVP versus Prime, Zound versus Departure, man. Greatest game ever. I think I was casting that game, actually.
I bet you were.
Me and Moonglade.
I will skip over that VOD.
You don't got to watch that one. Although Zound did win.
The thing is,
he did win.
It almost feels bad to say things like this because like these are very good players and everything, but it's a mismatch when you have them against the very, very best in the world.
Of course. I mean, it's true. It's better to joke about it than, ignore the elephant in the room, as most people would do and say, like, every single player here is amazing. It's
they are. They would mop the floor with us.
I think that Zound would do better than, like, half of, other regions. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So there is something to be said about that. But when you talk about Zound versus, like, Hero or something, we saw a lot of those PvPs, actually, in the SSL qualifier. They were very, very one-sided. It was not a fun cast.
Yeah.
But
I watched a little bit of that qualifier. There were definitely some
You're like, well,
some
I
weak
just gotta
sauce
turn
games
this off
in there.
now.
Yeah. In fact, I think I was watching it was Hero versus Zound, wasn't it? I think I remember watching that multiple times.
They redid that.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know really how that worked. Maybe one of them made it out of the losers match, and I think like Hero went down to Hurricane or something, or maybe that was someone else. It was a while ago. We're casting so much StarCraft every
There's a
single
lot of
week.
StarCraft out here, man.
It's pretty crazy.
That's right. I guess you've been casting like 4 or 5 days a week for the last little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks, by the way, for
no problem
for filling in.
Yeah. It's too bad about,
has
it's
been
too bad
fired
about
if you're
Tasteless,
just,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know.
I mean, some guys they run out of time. You know?
Yeah, that's it. It was just time for Tasteless to go. That was it. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens.
He's getting old. He's been casting a long time. It's someone else's turn now. All right, so.
Oh man,
I don't know.
I hope
man.
he's watching this cast.
I think he's actually on an airplane right now, coming back.
Oh
here.
yeah.
So I really strongly doubt that he is streaming this through over the Pacific Ocean.
Although
There's
it is
never
possible.
internet. There's never internet on flights over the Pacific. I've never
Really?
had it, and I've gone over the Pacific a lot of times. Over the Atlantic, occasionally I get internet.
Wolf tried to get one once. I think he almost got it. But it was like the slowest internet of all time.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't work. You couldn't watch anything on mobile. You know, there was no watching.
In flights within America, I've had internet before.
Decent
but it's
internet?
like no, it's like check your email or slowly type in Skype. Like you can't do a Skype call. You can't play Hearthstone. You can't. You know.
I don't even know what. This world is just terrible, man. You can't play Hearthstone on the plane. What are you supposed to do?
We're not in the future yet, guys.
What are you supposed to do?
You're supposed to watch a terrible movie on a 4x3 screen in the back of your chair.
Yeah. That's usually what I do, actually. On the 14-hour flights back to New York, I just watch 5. I watch 5 movies.
I watched a few movies lately. I normally don't watch any movies. Normally what I do is like read books, and if Taste is on the flight, we just talk the entire time till we fall asleep. And then he wakes me up. He does something like I'll still be asleep, but he'll wake up and be like, and then I'll be like, what? He's like, are you awake? I'm like, oh! But
scumbag Tasteless.
Yeah. Normally when I'm alone, I just like read and stuff. But I actually have been watching a few movies. Like I downloaded some from my iPad and stuff.
What have you been watching?
I actually watched on the flight back. I got like really bored and watched Birdman.
Oh yeah,
it was
great
good.
Movie.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched that movie.
Okay, I got to ask you a quick question. Close your ears if you haven't seen this movie. I'm serious.
Alert.
Mute. What was that ending? I didn't get it at all.
I think it was just one of those endings that made you think. Like you kind of come up with your own ending. Because I also didn't get it. I'm like, does he like fly away or?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Did he actually have superpowers the whole time? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. But all right. Anyways, it was a really good movie though. I thought. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah,
great movie.
Did you see Chef?
Chef? No.
Yeah, really good movie. I suggest
I heard
you
about
check
that.
it out. Yeah, it was. I actually
want to
quite
watch that. We're going into Deadwing for the first match. Funny that INnoVation lets that one through. I actually didn't see what he babbed here.
Yeah, I didn't see the maps at all. But
especially against Creator. Like, you would think Creator would love to play on this map against Terran.
Oh, you know what? This is probably just the map 1. Right? Do they do bans for this?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
2 bans each.
Well, I mean, Deadwing is a macro map, right? So might feel good on it because of that, but easy to high tech, so I guess we'll see. Here we go, guys. Code S in the GSL. I don't know. I haven't been here for a while. Here we go. Over here in the top left, our Terran player.
SK Telecom T1 INnoVation.
There he is in all his glory. I like the new jacket. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And down here in the bottom left,
Creator Prime.
Brudos player. Top class.
How do you like the Prime outfit? Because it's really just like a T-shirt of their sponsor.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think this is the first time I'm seeing that in a while. Because they usually have the jackets over it, but now I guess because it's hitting summer, it's getting hotter.
It's pretty
they're
warm
beginning
in
to
here,
take
actually.
it off. I think I do like this T-shirt, but it's kind of low key, and also Creator needs a smaller size.
Yes, that's what I wanted to get
at here. It's kind of like you in your giant Tasteless jacket right now.
Tasteless is he's got quite a large rib cage.
Oh yeah,
he's a large man.
Huge, like broad, bare shoulders.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like we're the same height and stuff, but I mean, his clothes are way too big for me for this. So I feel a little bit weird, and you're actually wearing my jacket.
Yeah, I'm
because I'm a thicker man than you are.
So Artosis tonight.
By the way,
you were tasteless.
We have a PC in game here. This has been like years since I've had this.
This only happened because Moonlight came.
Yeah.
And you know how Moonlight just demands everything and is like a really mean guy all the time?
He's such a diva. It's so hard to work with that guy. Hey guys, thanks for coming down. Do they have the earbuds in? Yeah, they do.
They do. They can hear us. Hi, guys.
Oh, they love pumping too. These guys must be French. Those guys are great. But Funka's my favorite.
Funka?
Yeah. And Todd's like, what about me? Like,
Todd's probably watching. Hi, Todd.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? So yeah, here we are. And it's really weird to have this observer PC. I don't even know if I'm going to use it. I'm just like, huh.
It's good for when we miss stuff, or if we want to see something specific.
Yeah, this is where if someone's doing a cool build, I can jump around and actually figure out everything so I can use it at home.
Remember that crazy, what was that build? I think it was like Rogue versus Hero. Me and you were casting that a while ago. He was like going crazy, like he rushed to Ultralisk, and he made like 4 mutas along the way to shut down War Prism. It was like the anti-hero build.
It was the weirdest,
and he still lost.
Coolest game ever. I actually re-went over like all the games from last season, and I really still don't have any answers for that game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just taking a look at what we're seeing here. Reaper expand into additional barracks instead of any drop play.
Yeah, that's we saw Fantasy versus Zest. He was going super heavy. I think he made a factory literally every single game against Protoss, against Zest. And INnoVation, he's known for just killing Creator with Widowmine's drops. I was saying this to you before, and he decides to go heavy on the infantry. This is not something I expected.
I like it because Creator has to know that he dies to Widowmine drops, right? He has to know that this has been an issue for him, and he has to know that INnoVation very often likes to do Widowmine drops. And, you know, if you look at some of the counters, by the way, he saw that. Oh, wait, I can check if he saw that. How sick is this? Yeah, he did see it.
He saw it.
Okay, I was pretty sure. Anyways, so let me get back to this little idea, this mind game type of thing. So the fact that he opens the more barracks, I think this actually makes him more cheese-proof in a certain way. Like, what are some of the builds that his opponent could do? His opponent Creator could go for some sort of massive blink attack or some sort of like immortal bust or something like that. And by having these extra barracks, he's more likely to hold on against some of these builds because he has so many units. And I think that basically if INnoVation gets to even late mid-game without taking a lot of SCV losses, he should win the game.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is probably what he's aiming for with this barracks build.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea. I agree with what you're saying. It's just, for me, if I were in INnoVation's shoes, I'd be like, I don't know, this guy doesn't know how to hold off Widowmines. Why don't I just kill him? But we already see Creator going for like a kind of anti-Widowmine build.
Yeah.
He goes for Stargate into Phoenixes, which is one of the safest ways to handle it. You know, you just pick up the Widowmines and you're totally, you're golden.
You kill the medevac and you're like, oh, I'm way ahead now.
You are so safe against drops.
Yeah.
Especially Widowmine drops. So it's kind of like INnoVation saying, this guy is going to prepare so much for my Widowmine play that I'm just not going to do it. Also, I'll be safe against any kind of cheese. We do see some extra gates being added on the corner of the map, so...
He does this, actually.
He does.
More games than... Like, I'm actually surprised, because when I think about Creator, when I was talking about him earlier, I'm like, he used to be known as Macro, he mixes up more.
Yeah.
I was specifically thinking of Pro League games where he hid gateways.
Yeah.
And
he did this once. I forget who it was against,
but
I don't remember. It did work. It did work.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have a lot of units here. He has a bunch of Phoenixes. These Phoenixes are actually, like, not going to be that helpful.
Yeah. They're literally just like anti-drop, anti-Widowmine.
Yeah.
Look at where that Phoenix is. He's waiting in the natural for a Widowmine to come in.
And you know what? There is a big move out right now, and he sees this coming. So with all these gates finishing, this is actually a pretty good opportunity. If INnoVation oversteps here, if he overcommits his units forward, there's enough gateways that Creator will have a big enough army here possibly to wipe this out. Well, he does let him stim in here. He actually needed a force field in front of those units.
Losing a ton of units here is Creator, rather. He does have a lot of those gateways, though, in the back, but so many of these sentries, these expensive sentries, are being traded down.
Yeah, that was like 2 Phoenixes that he lost. Yeah, 2 sentries, Mothership Core.
But at the same time, like you were saying, he loses a lot of units for this follow-up push that Creator will go for, because this is what he has prepared for.
Well, right now we actually have bunkers on the way. So the fact that he's going up to 3 bunkers, I think that INnoVation is just going to be completely fine. I think that INnoVation has done well enough here.
Especially because he picked off so many of those sentries, which were going to be so key at killing those bunkers. So
that was the big part, for sure.
Creator forced to remake a lot of those very expensive sentries. Definitely takes away a lot from the push. INnoVation is 100% prepared for this.
Yeah, this is like super all-in right now for Creator. Creator has to do damage here. Like a lot of damage, or he's dead. And that's because he doesn't have any follow-up. This is all of his economy put into this. He has no
42 probes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he has 2 Phoenixes as his tech. As soon as we have those medevacs out, as soon as INnoVation holds us, he just counterattacks and wins. Because gateway units don't beat barracks units.
Well, let's see if he holds this off first. Couple of Guardian Shields going down. No force fields just yet. There they are. But a lot of these SCVs stay repairing.
Those were funny force fields to let the SCVs repair the bunker. But he busted through 1 bunker so far. Looks like he'll get the 2nd bunker, but there's 2 more bunkers left. Yeah, medevacs are out. Sorry, Creator.
Yeah, INnoVation is just going to try to push forward and kill him away from those bunkers now. And I think he'll just have enough. It's just way too much with the medevacs, like you were saying. Creator's going to be totally wiped out, and the all-in fails.
It certainly does, and he is dead. Don't let his being in the game fool you. Okay, there you go. GG. So, to kind of underline what happened, what went wrong there, I feel like Creator almost blind countered Widowmine. Like, that would have killed a Widowmine player.
Yeah, it would have.
Like, he absolutely would have busted through. But INnoVation did a different build, so that's cool. But I think the force fields were pretty poor there by Creator.
Oh, yeah.
He force fielded units in, stimmed units in, when his front line was sentries.
And
that's when you actually force field them out.
There were at least 10 SCVs still repairing the bunker too.
Oh, that too,
bunker survived for way too long.
Yeah,
like
I think he still loses if he hits those perfect, but that was definitely... Why do you even have those force fields there? You have a front line of Zealots here, like...
I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know. It feels almost like Creator kind of over-prepared for the matchup for the player that he's playing against, and INnoVation just read it and countered it. It was kind of weird to see INnoVation not playing the way he would normally play here against Creator.
Yeah.
And just reading into it.
Well, it has certainly worked out for him. So, well played there by INnoVation. Creator definitely in some trouble. He tried to hard counter, kind of got hard countered, didn't do his force fields right. Little bit of a sloppy game there for sure.
Yeah. Something I would have also loved out of Creator's, with all those Phoenixes that he had, like, you know, the timing for Widowmine drops, once that passes like a while, you know, send your Phoenixes over to his base and scout it. See if you can actually execute the all-in instead of just blindly going into it and hoping that he doesn't have the stuff ready, because Deadwing is a big map. You know, maybe you make a bunch of extra gateways, but instead of making like a ton of units, maybe you just are like, oh, I actually cannot break this. Let me try to transition into a third base, make a bunch more probes, and just continue on with the game.
Yeah. Were you a Dragon Ball Z fan by any chance?
I never watched it.
Oh my god.
I know.
No one I can ask to watch Dragon Ball Z. You guys are all a bunch of dorks.
Guys.
What a bunch of nerds that don't watch Dragon Ball Z. You and Tasteless got to get on that, man.
Oh, man.
Because I have the greatest Dragon Ball Z stuff to say about this.
You could still say it for all the Dragon Ball Z fans.
I'll still say it. That was like Krillin against Android 16 or something. That's what that was.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You are so right, Artosis.
Thank you. Thank you, Valdez. That felt and sounded like you really meant it.
Like I really knew what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
We're going into Overgrowth. Map number 2. Bit of a smaller map, 2-player map.
Yeah, this is definitely a good map for stopping drop type play. If Creator wants to play a regular macro game, this could be a good choice for it.
Let's see what he does, though. Jumping into game number 2 here, guys, of the GSL Code S Group D.
Up here in the top right, bashing his opponent in that last game.
SK Telecom T1 INnoVation.
looks really uninterested, to be honest.
Yeah.
Kind of tired. Down here in the bottom left.
Creator Prime.
But to be fair, I don't know how many different facial expressions they programmed into that robot, so...
Yeah, he is an earlier model. He's been around for a long time.
Can't really knock, you know, the programming on that one.
Did you ever see the movie AI?
I did a very long time ago.
Okay.
I was like...
So you don't really...
Like 10 years old, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that one like I should rewatch?
No. It was really bad. It was not a good movie. But if you like remembered it, like I remember it so vividly, that movie. Like I have... Anyways.
I just remember the Sixth Sense. The child actor was in that, right?
Yep. He was the robot. But he never grew. INnoVation did. Higher model than Haley Joel Osment.
Okay.
So, looks like might be having a Reaper expand here once again. Wouldn't be surprised. I think that when you feel that you're better than your opponent, you're going to go Reaper expand most of the time. It allows you to scout, get a quick expansion. You're pretty safe against pretty much everything. And your opponent, you know, I mean, you get to scout to a certain point, no matter what. And that's a powerful thing to have when you are the better player.
Yeah. I mean, even in that last game, he got the scout on the Stargate. Even though it was for Phoenixes, he was just like, okay, I know exactly what you're doing. I see everything. And once No Oracle came in, he's like, okay, I guess it was Phoenixes. And then they never showed up. He's like, he saw them 5 minutes later. He's like, oh, okay. So, yeah, at least he does get that information.
Well, looks like he's going to go ahead, scout with the SCV first. And the probe kind of just playing the little dancing game around so he can make that Nexus right away.
Just super safety from INnoVation.
Yeah. Both players, this is like the standard bread and butter of this matchup. This is like, if you play this a lot, this matchup, this is exactly the builds both players do most of the time.
Yeah. I'm liking the SCV Scout too, for that extra safety.
Yeah. You may as well see exactly what's going on. Like, is losing those few minerals going to kill him against Creator? Probably not. You know, maybe if he's playing against, like, for instance, CJ Hero, you might skip that and say, you know what, I need every edge that there possibly is. But,
for sure.
You know, the thing that MMA said, like, class always exists. I agree with that to a certain extent, but when you follow the form for too long, I think new classes are made. Like, the class that INnoVation got to is so high level, like a literal god.
Yeah. He was...
but
Tasteless was fired. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was top 2 Terran in the world.
Yeah, I mean, INnoVation
for a while.
Like, yeah, he's kind of hit this whole different level than what Creator hit, even though Creator was like one of the best in the world at a point. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I feel like this is such a mismatch. But we do have, it looks like a Widowmine type of play coming out of INnoVation.
Yeah.
But a Stargate again for Creator. This time I don't know if it'll be scouted, though. I don't think so.
No, I think on this map it's a little bit easier to deny that scout.
Yeah.
But as I do say that, Muslim Core not in perfect position. He's going to come in the back.
Yeah, and in fact...
Oh, my God.
Now, this was actually really, really sloppy. Pretty much every Protoss makes a wall there with the core and the gateway, so
they
that you literally can't do that.
They put a wall there, or they put a pylon on the top left and make it there,
Yes.
the Stargate.
And either one of those would have made it so that his opponent did not know that there is a Stargate.
Yeah.
So this, like, when you're getting an Oracle after expansion scouted because you, like, made an inferior building placement... I know that this sounds harsh, and people are listening like, oh, this is a little bit harsh. But when, like, this is literally an inferior building placement that he has made. That's why you watch, like, I can't even count how many PVTs I've watched on this map, and almost always you see a wall there so that the Reaper literally can't do exactly that. It's the only reason to do it. He didn't do it. Look at this. He's ready for this Oracle.
Yeah.
That was potentially much more damage that he now doesn't get.
To me, it kind of just shouts like lazy play. You know, he's like, oh, it doesn't really matter that much. I can just put it wherever. And he does kind of have a wall over there, but it's not in the right place. It's like,
StarCraft is so often about the little things.
Oh my god.
It's always annoying.
Okay, Oracle gonna come back. He's gonna detect that.
Yeah, this is... I'm frustrated that he didn't do that, Valdez. Can you tell?
I can tell, man. I'm a little bit frustrated, too.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You got to put everything in your favor when you're going against INnoVation. Well, it looks like he is going to go into a super fast third base here. That is a really fast third after work. Oh, no.
Boy. Yep.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Artosis.
That's... Oh, my God. Okay, so...
Are you going to be okay?
He made... Okay, so his Oracle gets scouted, does no damage. He goes into a super fast third base after doing no damage with the Oracle, which is then killed. The Oracle is part of the reason why he can take a third, because it makes his opponent be slightly more defensive, which means this third base doesn't really have any chance of staying up if INnoVation finds out about it. If he finds out,
He's
third
about to
is
find
gone.
out, and he found out.
I mean, here it's like INnoVation has to decide, like, can I straight kill him, or do I just kill the third base?
Well, the first part of the program will be executed. Like you said, he sees it. I don't know much about programming, but I know there are a bunch of if-then statements. Like, if this happens, then my army will attack, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
You know, StarCraft II is such a strategic game rather than anything else, and this is one of those strategic moments, exactly as you said, actually.
He doesn't cancel it. He's going to try to hold it, and his Mothership Core is out of position. He's not here. It's got full energy, and he's not even going to get there to put down a Nexus Cannon on time.
He just scanned and killed the Observer, which means the Widow Mine's covering perfectly. Like,
I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, this is just straight up sloppy play.
Oh boy.
But let's see what he can do.
Oh, that was funny. But okay, so I mean, he killed the third. His third is going to be up way quicker, and it's okay for the Terran third to be up quicker. But to straight lose that third is very, very painful. His Stargate tech has done less than zero this game. It's been terrible this game.
Yeah.
He's still making some Phoenixes, so like he could go into Phoenix Colossus from this and play a super defensive game, and maybe he can make something work from that. And I think that that's definitely the best option for him at this point.
Yeah.
Try to have your opponent attack you with the wrong amount of Vikings and stuff, you know, and see if your Phoenixes can swing in your favor.
He's even going to add a second Stargate. He wants to commit heavily to these Phoenixes. It's kind of a style you don't see all too often these days, but let's see what he can do with it.
It can be really strong. If your opponent knows exactly what to do against it, it gets a little bit tougher, but let's see here. Does move up, and hey, look, this is... Oh, that was some mismicro on the Phoenixes. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You're actually, like, getting angry right now.
This was... Like, that was a kill on that medevac if he microed that, but looks like over here we are going to have INnoVation try to hit this third base again.
Oh, he's going to try to come from behind and snipe down these Colossi. One goes down, another one in huge danger. Oh, he's going to survive.
If this... You know, the thing is, Creator has done a lot of good things strategically. He's just not... There's like... He's screwing up all the small things. Basically, if this was an English paper, there would be a lot of little red circles on it.
Oh, yeah.
But it would... It's a good story. Like, he's doing smart things, and he's... You know, he's making very smart moves, but all the little points
maybe he still gets a B.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But they're like, well, I mean, you need to indent your paragraph, and you need to put a comma here, and this word is spelt wrong.
Yeah.
But overall, it's like a very good... He's got a good plot. He's got, you know, there's... He's following his points well. His characters are well developed.
The idea is great, but
yeah.
It's just not well executed.
No, which is making me sad, because it's like... Strategically, it's very good. You can tell he's quite prepared.
Yeah.
It's just these little tiny points. So we'll see how that goes. We do have 2 starports up for INnoVation.
He's got 2 starports. He's even going to add ghosts here.
That's really good. Like, if he hits an EMP on a clump of Phoenixes, that is going to do a lot of damage.
Yep. They turn into...
Love them 1,000 damage EMPs, man.
Oh, yeah. flying paperweights coming your way into a large mass of Vikings.
Yeah, he's going to have to pump up that Viking production as well. Does have 2-2 on the way.
Nice.
You know, INnoVation is playing this game really, really well. Like the fact that...
Oh my god. 3 Phoenixes. A couple of them do go down.
That is so painful. You got to be careful about those.
Yeah.
But, like, I got to point out how well INnoVation is playing, because what Creator is doing here would kill almost every Terran in the world already. Like, INnoVation hit every weakness, like, basically perfectly so far. He's done a fantastic job of hitting him where he was weak and executing it correctly. And he's following it up perfectly. He has the 2 starports at a good time. His third base was at a great time. His 2-2, that is what you need. You need to get these really powerful upgrades, because when your opponent goes Phoenix Colossus, they have to skip upgrades. Like right now, he just started +1 attack. So we are going to have a 3 upgrade lead for INnoVation here.
Yeah. I mean, he goes for the Phoenix upgrade, the +1. But that's about it. Like you're saying, most of that gas is going into the literal units of the Phoenixes.
And with these 3 ghosts, this many units out on the map, like, he may move out relatively soon here. Ooh, that was a mistake by INnoVation.
Yeah, he's going to lose a couple of these Vikings, too.
That was a huge moment for Creator. Picking off any Vikings here is gigantic. And look at this, actually.
Look at this awesome trade for Creator. Seeing out so many of the Vikings. And the Colossi still stand. There's so many Marines out on the map. And INnoVation is going to be routed here. He has to run away.
Yeah, this was really good for Creator.
Oh my god.
Like, insanely good. Like, he's just going to straight up win this game now. Does he have a forward pylon? Yeah. No, he doesn't actually, does he? His closest pylon is kind of far away, but I think he still just got this straight up.
That third base, there's no hope in saving that. INnoVation is just going to try to survive, but that's essentially like losing the game at the same time.
Yeah, this game is 100% going to Creator, I would say. Like, this is... I guess there's still a small chance for INnoVation. He is trying to get up here and kill off this army. If he gets all those Colossus, you know, maybe there's some way.
Well, it looks like he may not even be able to.
Yeah.
Some more Zealots coming into tank. Maybe now. But he's lost so much. 40 SCVs, lost his entire third base.
Well, he actually is going to get the Colossus.
The counterattack is going to be the scariest part for Creator.
Yeah. Let's see here. He does have 1 Colossus out at home. He still has 7 Phoenix.
I mean, there's no transitioning from this for INnoVation. He has 1 base.
He doesn't have much anything here. He's got like 27 SCVs, which is less than half of the probe count of Creator. So he needs to get over there and get something to happen right this second.
He's got the upgrade advantage, like you were saying before. A lot of those high-tech Protoss units are down. And maybe he can make something happen. He's got a pretty nice bio ball. He's still got 2 ghosts.
I think he has 4 medevacs on the way, which is definitely the right choice. Like, he needs to just keep his army alive. It's no longer about the Vikings. So really good choices coming out of INnoVation here. The one big mistake he's made this game was definitely that engagement we saw near the gold. We can talk more about that afterwards, but that was definitely a big mistake.
Yeah, maybe just getting a little bit overconfident. He's like, I've got 2-2. What do you have? That's not much. But then Creator gets a perfect position. He's like, oh, whoa, I lost so many units. But here we go. INnoVation's going to try to make this game end right now. Doesn't have much of a follow-up.
There we go. It looks like this should be the game decider here. INnoVation has given himself a good chance to win even after losing that third base on all his SCVs. Here we go. The Vikings going forward, targeting down these Colossi very, very quickly. It looks like INnoVation may be able to just plow through anyways.
Looks like it, man. More reinforcements coming through. He can land those Vikings eventually if he wants to. He's still got so much bio here. He's going to focus down that 1 Colossus, too. It goes down, and oh, man.
Still a strong victory by INnoVation. Okay, I gotta run that down real quick.
Run it down, man.
So,
chase it down.
INnoVation really messed that up by having units out of position. The thing about Phoenix Colossus is it forces you to not split up your army, whereas against pretty much everything else, you want to be kind of in multiple groups, moving around, harassing and stuff. Phoenix Colossus forces you not to, because the Phoenixes will demolish anything that isn't in a group. So he screwed up there. Creator got a hugely important engagement. Like, Creator, it was funny that Creator was even out there at that moment, because if INnoVation is all together, then he can do a much better fight, and you kind of want to be in a defensive position there as Creator, but Creator didn't have the proxy pylon to be able to warp in the reinforcements, because if he did, he would have won right there at that third base.
Yeah.
Instead, INnoVation was able to come back. Very interesting game, actually.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Yeah. You know, kind of what we expected. INnoVation going up 2-0 against Creator. You know, you were talking about classes, tiers, makes it through to the winners match. We're going to have Bomber versus Panic next, another PVT.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to jump to a quick commercial break here, guys. And when we come back, we will have that next PVT.